Hello and welcome to today's video on GCSE French. We'll be focusing today on the verb aller in French, which means to go in English. Donc, les objectifs, on va réviser le verbe aller au présent, au futur simple et au futur proche et au passé. So the objectives today are that we're going to be revising the verb aller, which means to go, in the present tense, two future tenses, and the past tense. So we'll begin by looking at the present tense. Now, as you will see throughout the lesson, the PowerPoint today, the verb aller, which means to go, is a really useful verb which we can use in lots of different situations, in lots of tenses and so on, and it can really help you with your GCSE French exam. So if we look at it first of all, it's conjugated here in the present tense. So we have je vais, which is I go or I am going. Tu vas, you go or you are going. Il va, he goes, he is going. Elle va, she goes, she is going. And on va, one goes, one is going, or we go, we are going. Nous allons, we go, we are going. Vous allez, you go, you are going. Ils vont and elles vont both mean they go or they are going. The il form is masculine, all boys, and the elle form is feminine, all girls. However, the il could also be used if there are a group of girls and boys. And I will repeat myself later, but even if there's a group of, say, 100 people, 99 girls and one boy, you would still use the masculine form il if you're talking about them. Just a quick word about the on va. One goes, one is going, sounds extremely posh. However, it's extremely well used in France. It's not posh, it's just very normal, it's very well used. And it's very common. So how to use it? If I give you an example of using aller in the present tense here. So for example, je vais au collège en bus is I go to school by bus. We could use the nous form. Nous allons au cinéma ce soir. We are going to the cinema this evening. So this is aller in the present tense. So we're going to move on now and we're going to look at the past tense or passé. It's slightly more complicated in the past tense, but as I'll show you now, it's not too complicated. So we have je suis allé, which is I went. Tu es allé, you went. Il est allé, he went. Elle est allée, she went. And on est allé, one went. Nous sommes allés, we went. Vous êtes allés, you went. Ils sont allés, they went, masculine. And elles sont allées, they went, feminine. So, as you can see, we have the verb être, to be, first of all. So, je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, on est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, elles sont. That is the verb être in the present tense. And then we have the past participle aller for each of them. So if I don't know if your teachers have taught you with the past tense, the verb would either go with avoir or être. So this is a verb, aller is a verb that would go with être. Perhaps you've learned Mrs. Van der Tramp's. This is one of those verbs. So one of the extra things you have to remember when you use a verb that goes with être in the past tense is that you have to put on the agreements at the end. So if you look here in pink, I've put some pink e's to show you that if a girl is speaking, or when a girl is definitely speaking, then you add the e. I should technically put a bracket around this, because I am a girl, so yes, je suis allée will always have an E for me. But if you're a boy, then you will not need to put on the E at the end. It is only for girls, okay? Similarly with tu es allé, you could actually add the e there. If I am talking to my sister, for example, who is a girl, and I say, you went. You went to school yesterday, then I would add on the e because she's a girl. Il est allé, he went. I would never add on the extra e here because it's always going to be a boy. Elle est allée, definitely I would add on the e because she went is always going to be a girl. On est allé, no, we don't need it. And then nous sommes allés is we went. So here, if I am talking about a group of us and we're all girls, then yes, I would add the e. But if within that group of people there is at least one boy, then I would not add the e. But I would always add the s because it's plural. Because we went, nous sommes allés, is always going to be more than one person, so it is always going to be plural. So we would add the s there. Vous êtes allé, you went. Now it depends because I could be talking to a girl and I could be talking to more than one person. So vous êtes could be a formal you, as in if I was talking to the head teacher or my boss, or I don't know, a solicitor, or if I was talking in a more formal situation, then I would not use the s. However, if I was talking to more than one person, then yes, I would use the s. And again, if the person or people I was talking to was a girl or all girls, then I would also add the e. Ils sont allés, they went. I definitely would need an s because it's plural, they went, it's more than one person. However, if it's ils, they, masculine, I would not need an extra e. But for elles sont allées, they went, I would need the extra e because they're all girls. And the s obviously again is because there's more than one person. Okay? If this is confusing to you, I would suggest either going online and perhaps watching a little YouTube video or looking at some exercises online, or ask your teacher for more clarity if you're not sure. Okay? One little point, the e's and the s's do not change the sound. So if it's for the speaking exam, for example, the e's and the s's don't matter because they don't change the sound of the word anyway. So nous sommes allés, whether it's with an e, with an s, or with nothing, it would still sound exactly the same. Okay? Important point. Okay, au futur simple, so the future tense, we have j'irai, tu iras, tu iras, I mixed up Spanish here, il ira, elle ira, on ira, nous irons, vous irez, ils iront, elles iront. Okay? So what we have here technically is we have ir, and then the endings, so they all have the ir, and then we have the endings of e, a, on, e, on. Okay, now I don't know if this looks familiar to you, but it's very similar. The endings, the ai, as, a, etc., are very similar to avoir in the present tense. So we have j'ai, tu as, il a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. So we can say, see, ai, as, a, ons, ez, ont. So maybe that's a little way of helping you remember these future tense, this future tense version of allé. Okay. Again, lots of silent letters for the pronunciation, but for written, obviously you need to write all of the letters. What does it mean? It means I will go, you will go, he will go, she will go, one will go, we will go, you will go, and they will go. Using it in an example, so for example, j'irai en France cet été, I will go to France this summer. Or nous irons au cinéma ce soir, we will go to the cinema this evening. Okay, so again, as you can see, it's very versatile and you can use it in lots of different situations. Okay, so that's aller in the future tense. However, there is an easier version as well if you find this one more tricky. You could just use le futur proche, so the near future tense. So this one is much easier because what we do is we take the present tense of the verb aller, je vais, tu vas, il va, elle va, on va, nous allons, vous allez, ils vont, and elles vont. And then we just add the infinitive aller to the end. So je vais aller, I'm going to go. Tu vas aller, you are going to go. Il va aller, he is going to go, etc. And it's a really straightforward, simple way of talking about future events or writing about future events, but without having to worry the conjugation of the future tense. So it's most of my students find this version easier. But if you really want to get an A or an A star, I would suggest you try to use both and learn both, because it does show the examiner that you can use both versions. Okay? Excellent. Right, so summary of the tenses. Present tense, we have je vais, I go or I'm going. The past tense, je suis allé, I went. Remember, we only add the e if you're a girl. In speaking, it doesn't matter anyway because it doesn't change the sound. And then the future, we have je vais aller, I'm going to go, or j'irai, I will go. Okay. Now, as I said, this version is easier, but it would be great if you could use a mixture of both. Now then, these are the main ones which you need to learn, because in order to get a C or above in the exam, you need to be able to refer to events in the past, present and future tenses. However, if you're happy with these and you want to try to push yourself a little bit harder, then you could also include the imperfect tense, j'allais, I was going or I used to go, or the conditional tense, j'irai, I would go. And this one is particularly useful if you're talking about ideal something, ideal school, ideal holidays, ideal job, and so on. So the conditional tense is really good for that. Okay, so try to practice these tenses as much as possible. Use them in your work, and you know they can really help you get those top grades. If I move on then, something really important to consider when using the verb aller is which preposition to use after the verb. So if I just focus on je vais, but it will be the same for all of the tenses. So we'll work our way around. So if we start here with au, je vais au cinéma, je vais au parc, je vais au bureau, je vais au musée, is I'm going to the cinema, to the park, to the office, to the museum. So these words are all masculine and singular words. Okay, so it would be the same for example, collège. I can't think at the minute, but lots of all the nouns that would be masculine and singular. If you're saying I'm going to then you would use au. Moving on here, then we have some feminine nouns. So we have à la, je vais à la plage, I'm going to the beach. Je vais à la pharmacie, je vais à la boulangerie, je vais à la montagne, to the pharmacy, to the bakers, to the mountain. They're all feminine, so we would use à la for each of these. The next group are vowels. Now I know hôpital doesn't technically start with a vowel, but the H is silent followed by an O, so the sound is a vowel sound, okay, which is why we would use the A L apostrophe. So je vais à l'école, I'm going to school. Je vais à l'aéroport, I'm going to the airport. Je vais à l'usine, I'm going to the factory. Je vais à l'hôpital, I'm going to the hospital. So remember, A L apostrophe for vowels. Then we have two plural examples. The X is silent, so this word or sounds exactly like this one, or. They've got exactly the same sound, the X is silent. So je vais au grand magasin, je vais aux toilettes. Plural nouns, plural places. The next one we have is chez. Chez is a tricky one to translate. It depends what the verb is. Sometimes you don't even have to translate into English at all. So, je vais chez mes parents is I'm going to my parents' house or my parents' place, some people say. Je vais chez le médecin, I'm going to the doctor's, implying the doctor's surgery. Je vais chez le dentiste, I'm going to the dentist. And je vais chez le coiffeur, I'm going to the hairdressers. Okay, so it's sort of like the place where these people are, where they live or where they work. The next one is are on its own. There is an accent over it. It's difficult to see the accent. So for example, je vais à Paris, je vais à Rio de Janeiro, je vais à New York, je vais à Berlin is I'm going to a town or a city. So there it could be je vais à Cardiff, je vais à Londres, je vais à Newport, etc. The next one is repeated here. Actually, if I group these three together, the three at the bottom, on, or, and or, are all to do with countries. So feminine countries, you would use en. Je vais en France, je vais en Angleterre, is England. Je vais en Chine, je vais en Argentine. They are all feminine countries. Or then is for masculine countries. Je vais au Brésil, Portugal, Japon, Canada. It would also be used for Pays de Galles, Wales as well, because Wales is a masculine country. And then the final one, AUX or O, remember they sound exactly the same orally, for plural countries, aux États-Unis, aux Pays-Bas, aux Philippines, or Seychelles. So it's important that when you need to use a preposition after the verb aller, that you choose the correct preposition. Just really quickly, I'm sure you've been made aware of all of the themes that you have to study for GCSE. This is the old syllabus, all of the topics on the old syllabus, sorry, here they are in English. And here are the three broad themes for the new GCSE syllabus. And as you can see, c'est un verbe très utile pour tous les thèmes. It's a very useful verb for all of these themes, whether you are studying the old syllabus or the new syllabus. You will be able to use the verb aller in all of those themes. It's very, very useful. Okay, let's have a look at a few examples now and see if you can work out which tense they're using and which topic they're describing. So, je vais à la salle de sport avec mon frère is I go to the gym with my brother. So which tense is the present tense, je vais, and which topic, probably health and fitness, or adlon into ham then is leisure and leisure activities. Nous sommes allés en France l'année dernière. So we went to France last year. Which tense we went last year is the past tense, and which topic, probably holidays. Il va toujours en bus, he always goes by bus. Which tense is the present tense, il va, and which topic, it could be transport, it could be school, it could be holidays. Next one, demain, je vais manger beaucoup de légumes. So tomorrow I'm going to eat lots of vegetables. Which tense, tomorrow, and je vais manger tells us that it's the future tense or the near future here. We could also have used j'irai, remember, for the proper future tense, the futur simple. And which topic, I would imagine, because they're talking about légumes and manger, that is probably food and drink. And then the final example, es-tu allé au supermarché hier? So, did you go to the supermarket yesterday? Which tense, es-tu allé, and hier tell us that it is the past tense. And which topic, debatable, it could be food and drink, it could be health and fitness, it could be hobbies, it could be a variety of topics. So this is just showing you that, you know, it's very versatile and it can be used in lots of different tenses and lots of different topics. Also, as with regards to the exam, obviously you know you have a listening, a speaking, a reading and a writing exam, and you will see this verb in all four elements of the exams. Écouter, parler, lire et écrire. Donc, c'est un verbe très important et utile qui peut être utilisé dans diverses situations, thèmes et temps. So, it's a very important and useful verb that can be used in various situations, themes and tenses. Par exemple, je vais au collège tous les jours. Nous sommes allés au cinéma hier. Il va être célèbre dans le futur. So you can see there 3 different tenses, 3 different themes. So, des conseils, advice. Vous devez l'apprendre, le pratiquer et l'utiliser régulièrement. You should learn it, practice it and use it regularly. Qu'attendez-vous? What are you waiting for? So that's the end of this session on the verb aller. I hope it's been of use. Please learn the different tenses of the verb aller. Use it as much as you can because it'll really help you to ensure that you can talk about all those different tenses in the exam. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir. Bonne chance.